Okay, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate your time. Our partner from across the world, and also our team from BorderPass. Thank you, guys, to be there. As we know, guys, and I think I can translate a little bit in French after that. The role of this webinar to give the opportunity to our partner, Trebas partner agency, how we can use the portal for BorderPass, and also that sure we're working very closely with the team BorderPass, and maybe with the futures. For now, we can do it, but in the futures, we will sign agreement together, and you have access in the portal. It's free now. They have few costs, and I let the team to explain to you through this presentation, guys. But that is very important now. The situation, as you know, with the number of the pass, with the number of the CAQ, specifically when we're talking from Quebec, for Quebec, sorry, they are limited. That's why I think before we send the file to ERCC, we don't have any issue with CAQ. They have like a lot CAQ available for us, for Trebas. The issue, small issue, or the issue is with the ERCC, Immigration Canada. That's why the team of BorderPass, they will support us, and they support our student partner, how we can submit the application to be full and everything. And also they give like all the information what we need before they support the application, and with the portal and everything. If I switch very quick in French, guys, merci beaucoup à tout le monde d'être présent sur cette présentation. Le rôle principal, c'est de tout simplement donner l'opportunité aux partenaires de Trebas de pouvoir utiliser le portail de BorderPass. Ce portail, il est très intéressant pour vos étudiants. Il y a un petit cost que je vais laisser l'équipe, petit montant que l'équipe va expliquer BorderPass. Éventuellement, dans l'avenir, probablement d'ici la fin de l'année, on est en train de discussion un peu, de signer un agrément avec l'équipe et pouvoir avoir accès, ce qu'on appelle gratuit pour ce portail. Mais pour le moment, je ne voulais pas perdre l'occasion. For now, I don't want to lose this opportunity now for next few months or few weeks. They give the opportunity for all our partners. They use this portal, and they have like more support from BorderPass. I give you the floor, guys. Thank you so much. You are the floor for all the presentation. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mo. And good morning, good evening. Hi, everyone from wherever you're joining. My name is Eli, and I'm one of the senior account managers here at BorderPass. So we work very, very closely with all of our DLI partners and our agents across the world who are using our platform to make it easier for students to submit high quality applications at scale, and for you as our partners to have access to our Canadian immigration lawyers and our platform to make sure that your students that you're working with can submit those strong applications and be guided throughout the process. So with me today, I have my colleague Max, who's our Director of Sales here, as well as one of my colleagues, Ian, who is a Senior Director of Partnerships. So you'll be hearing and seeing them throughout the remainder of this call. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat or come off mute if you feel so inclined. We're really excited to support our conversation today. So today I'll be going through a little bit about what BorderPass is, the value of the platform, why you can use it today and in the near future for students that you're working with, as well as a demonstration of the platform itself. So you can see how to sign up, where to go, and how to access our resources for support if you need any throughout the process. So moving on here, I don't expect many of you to be fully aware of what BorderPass is. And so we want to make sure you understand where we're coming from and why BorderPass was created. So BorderPass was created by immigration lawyers in Canada who over the last few years have realized that the immigration rates from the IRCC have declined across the board. And the IRCC is scrutinizing and paying a lot of attention to the applications that we're submitting. And we're seeing declining rates in certain parts of the world. So we wanted to make it as easy as possible for our applicants, so our students, as well as the agents using our platform to submit high quality applications and have access to Canadian immigration lawyers to review the application, see where there's an opportunity to improve, and make it easy as possible for the student to go step by step throughout their process. If a student was apply on their own throughout the IRCC or with a partner, certain things might be missed in their application, and it might be difficult to understand the entire process. So through your use of BorderPass, as well as the students, we offer an opportunity to store all of your documents, go through the process step by step so everyone's informed, and we make it as easy as possible to reach out to our support team for assistance throughout the process. BorderPass doesn't only submit the initial study permit journey. When working with our partners across the board, we want to make it as easy as possible for students to know that they have access to high quality legal support through not only study permits, but post-grad work permits, express entry, visitor visas, all types of applications. And we're working on a few features to make it very valuable for students to have access to a high quality resume builder, finding jobs here, and making their immigration journey smooth during their time in Canada.
Eli, just to jump in, one thing I was just going to add, just on the first slide, again, sometimes there's confusion about where BorderPass sits, like Eli had mentioned. And one thing I want to make very clear is that we do not recruit students. BorderPass is here to support agents in really increasing your probability of earning your commission by way of the process from our platform and the lawyers reviewing the application and how that helps craft higher quality applications, which leads to greater success, like Eli mentioned. So I just wanted to add, we do not take commission. That is, fully for our agent partners. We work directly with our institutions, like the schools themselves, to have our own partnerships. And we also work with all of the agents so that you have access to creating more efficiencies in your business. So I just wanted to add that one point.
Yeah, absolutely. If we are not in the business of recruiting, we leave that to the specialists like you on the call. We just want to make it as easy as possible for you to have access to high quality legal advice and information for your applications. Throughout the platform, we've noticed based on prior refusals that we've seen, there's more of a scrutiny for proof of funds and the financial information provided. So part of the reason and the value of using BorderPass is that we make it as easy as possible for students to avoid the pitfalls that can come with reasons of refusal related to proof of funds. So there's a couple of different ways that we do this. So to show the proof of readily available funds, we actually, in the platform, show students that the requirements needed are for recent bank statements. So we require at least 6 months of bank statements that are recent from the time of application to 6 months before that. And you need to provide verification of funds. So any documentation where there's large lump sum deposits or information related to where those funds came from, it is very easy in the platform. And I'll show you in a few minutes how that works, where the student can go to upload that information to essentially tell the IRCC officer that, hey, these are the funds that we have, this is where it's coming from, to hopefully avoid that reason of refusal relative to those proof of funds. So throughout the platform, we show where you can upload those documents and how you can avoid those common misconceptions related to where those funds came from. And we also offer an opportunity for financial supporters and documentation for spouse or children or any other applicants. It's all within the platform in a way that's laid out and easy for you to follow along. Typically, on your own, you would have to fill out the government forms and just upload and send them to the IRCC directly in BorderPass, depending on a few questions that you answer throughout the assessment at the beginning. The certain forms that you need to fill out are shown to you, and it's clearly demonstrated how to input that financial information. And there's a variety of different financial documents that you can submit, from bank statements to certificates to income related to business documents and things of that nature. As I mentioned, this is actually built directly in the platform. So for the student who's trying to upload documents that are not in English or French, or a bank statement that might be a few months or a few years too old, that were from a prior refused application, our system automatically reads that info and provides this warning that the student or the agent working on behalf of the student needs to follow the guidelines according to the IRCC to avoid a risk of refusal. And even for lump sums and large amounts that we notice in certain bank documents, it is flagged, and the student can go in and actually provide the note for where that document or funds came from. So these warnings and systems are not just related to financial documents, it's throughout the entire process. So for students talking about where their prior employment history, or whether they're able to apply from inside or outside of Canada, we make it very, very easy for the student to see only the information they need to see relative to their specific scenario based on the questions we ask and the different stages in our platform. I'll turn it over to Max here to talk a little bit about using BorderPass as an agent and a partner?
Yeah. So I know the magic question is always, well, how much does this cost? And I'm happy to answer a little bit more about our fees and how this works for you as an agent supporting your applicants. Ultimately, our technology and access to creating your account as an agent partner is free. Your business will not incur costs from working with BorderPass. The costs are only going to be for the applicants to work through BorderPass. And again, we're actually running a promotion right now. So we've got about a 50% off discount to our standard fees. Again, when we partner with an institution, we're now working with over 40 across Canada. So hopefully we'll get there with Gus shortly, which will actually make the fees waived and it'll be completely free, whereby a student's only paying for the government processing fees as if they were to file on their own independently or with their agent. But for the time being, essentially what a student is getting access to is when you invite them to the platform, you get to maintain control of supporting them through their BorderPass application. They get to complete all the document uploads, answer questions. Eli is going to show you what this looks like very shortly, but it really allows you as an agent to have more visibility into the progress of your applicant. And it also allows you to focus more on recruiting. Some agents are very hands-on with immigration, so this will be a way for you to just make that more efficient, streamline the process. Other agents that we work with typically have referred out the immigration work and it's cost the student thousands of dollars. So we're here to bring more affordability to this process and more efficiency to your business, which is only going to lead to increased commissions and higher quality success rates. The fees that you'll see in the bottom here, so access to BorderPass, those fees are waived. That's a savings of about $120. The applicant will only need to pay for the government processing fees, which would be the $150 to submit your study permit application, as well as the biometrics fee if they haven't paid that already. And then there is a small charge for legal fees of about $175. Again, given that there's not a current partnership with Gus, that fee isn't waived, but it is extremely affordable relative to what's out there in the market. And this is a short-term promotion that we're running. So just wanted to make that clear. And again, what you're getting here is a platform to manage your applicants' immigration process, help them by uploading documents, let them walk through the process of putting together a complete application that is going to meet IRCC's requirements, right? Our platform does not allow for an incomplete application to be submitted. You can't forget documents. You can't forget to answer questions. The platform will actually not let you move forward. And at the end, once it's submitted, like Eli mentioned, our team of Canadian immigration lawyers are actually going to review the application manually, make sure it's in great condition. There's no areas for improvement. If there are, they'll go back to you as the agent or back to the student. And then ultimately, when our legal team feels the application is ready to go, we will submit it. The other thing I'll mention is that one of the greatest value adds of BorderPass for agent partners, and we have a slide dedicated to this shortly, is in the event an applicant is refused. And again, it's no surprise, the landscape has changed, refusals have increased. Typically, students are facing two options. You can either reapply or you can pursue judicial review. I'm not sure how many of you on the call are familiar with judicial review, but historically, this has been a service that isn't really available or accessible or even affordable. Judicial review is a service where it can only be done by a lawyer, not by an agent, not by a student, not by a school. And it's a process whereby our legal team can file an appeal in federal court against IRCC, arguing that the refused decision was a mistake, it was wrongful, it was unjust. So although reapplication is an option, our team has found that it is not generating different outcomes like it had in the past. If someone submitted their application, they didn't have the finances, and now they do, maybe that's a good opportunity for a reapplication. But where we have filed an application that we feel meets the conditions or the requirements of IRCC, This is where judicial review is a great option. So it takes a little bit of time. It could take around, candidly, 6 to 12 months. However, we've seen cases be settled and overturned in much less than that. Our goal is to have the applicant defer their intake by just one semester. And really what this process entails is our legal team preparing legal arguments involving case law, getting all the applicant's information, and arguing that there was a mistake or it was a wrongful decision. There are some eligibility criteria, like you'll see on the critical deadlines here. If it's an applicant outside of Canada, they only have 60 days from that refusal letter to pursue judicial review. If it's in Canada, they have about 15 days. Our success rate is holding strong around 70 to 80%, which means of the decisions we have filed and received back from the federal court, in 70 to 80% of the decisions, the government has the court has thrown away the refusal, which allows the student to go back into the processing queue for a new officer to review the file. Why is this important? Because it is allowing us to advocate and to hold IRCC accountable for decisions that sometimes make no sense. As an agent, this is now available to you. It will be significantly discounted from the market rate. The typical price for judicial review is around $8,000 to $10,000 with a law firm. You can imagine that that's extremely expensive, not accessible, and sometimes inconvenient. On BorderPass, it typically costs a couple $100s to go through this process, depending on if we filed the initial application or not. And this is an opportunity for you as an agent to not lose out on a student. Typically, if a student gets refused, they might be stressed, they might be tired from the process, they might want to walk away. This is an opportunity for you to increase the level of support that you provide to your applicants upon facing a refusal, keeping in mind that BorderPass can actually initiate both a reapplication and a judicial review at the same time. So just wanted to share a little bit about those services and also outline what you'll see in the picture here. Actual officer or actual court notes that we received from the judge that was assigned to this case, where it states that the officer's analysis of the applicant's available financial resources did not engage with the evidence provided. This is where the federal court is actually siding with BorderPass's arguments in agreeing that the officer that initially refused the application, quite frankly, didn't look at all the materials. They didn't look at all the evidence. Sometimes this happens. They're moving fast. There's backlogs. There's some technology in place at IRCC. And this is our opportunity to help overturn refusals and really fight for fair processing decisions for our applicants, our agents, and of course, our mutual institution partners. That's really what I wanted to share here. So I'll pass things back over to Eli to continue with the presentation. Feel free to drop some questions in the chat throughout our conversation.
Thanks, Max. And something to keep in mind in terms of that judicial review timeline, part of that timeline historically, so in the past, we had to wait a couple of weeks, months to receive GCMS notes. So the detailed reasons for refusal relative to an application so that we could file our reasons with the IRCC for why we think the decision should be overturned. As of very recently, the IRCC has released officer decision notes alongside the refusal notes. So immediately upon receiving a refusal, you get some semi-detailed notes about why your application was refused, which shortens that timeline for us to file that judicial review. So this has been a very successful way for our mutual partners to use BorderPass for previous refusals, as opposed to just reapplying. It gives you an option forward with your student to have access to legal support for this as well. And here we have some data that was shared to us by the IRCC for the first half of 2025 in Canada. So just to explain this graph here, the color in red here on the far left for each country is the IRCC rate for all of the applications for applicants from that country. So across the board, in the first half of 2025, all applicants from Ghana on average had a 9% approval rate across the board. You can see for Cameroon, it's around 13%, Nepal 33%, Kenya 34%, Nigeria 21, India at 24, which historically has been way higher in years prior. So across the board, these are the application rates for applicants from this country. The blue bar here are all of the applicants that have used BorderPass and attending one of our partner colleges. So the rate for applicants from Ghana who have used BorderPass have got in at around a 26% approval rate. That's significantly higher than the 9% just across the board, indicating that students from these regions with very low approval rates have a much higher chance of approval by following the prompts within BorderPass and getting their study permit. The bar in green represents our university partners. So not college, but our university partners for students that have used BorderPass to file, and they have significantly higher rates relative to the IRCC and slightly higher rates across our colleges. So in regions where we're seeing significant refusals like Ghana and Nigeria and India, you want to focus on these markets. Just think to yourself as a partner, if there's any opportunity as opposed to just reapplying, something new for the student, either through judicial review or applying initially, making sure that they're meeting the requirements for the bank documents, for their financial documents, for all of their additional documents as well, and organized in a way that makes sense. The students have access to something at BorderPass and legal support from our Canadian immigration lawyers, and you can share this with them as well. On the right here, when we talk about judicial reviews, we see two columns and the countries they represent. This breakdown is relative to how many of our approvals did we get for all of our Ghanaian applicants? Did they get approved with a study permit initially versus a judicial review? So you'll see 38% of all of the applicants from Ghana that we had, how many of them got the study permit initially versus how many got them through a judicial review. So you can see for some of these countries, there's a significant opportunity to challenge what the IRCC stated, and we're seeing more and more of these refusals be overturned due to some of the really quick refusals that are coming in for some of these regions. So we're hoping to avoid bias and use our legal power to give the opportunity for the student to challenge a decision and a new path forward to their study permit. So when we think about the actual process time on the BorderPass end, it takes about 24 hours or 1 business day. Once you've gone through the whole process, and I'll show you bits and pieces of it from the student view, once everything's submitted to the lawyer for review, our lawyers take about a business day to look through it, review, add some comments, and if it looks fine and they want to submit it to the IRCC and they feel it's a strong application, they'll just submit it. So within submitting your documents, it takes about 1 business day. However, if the lawyers find that there's some feedback or there's some changes or some missing documents, they can go back to the student and say, hey, we need you to upload this document or you don't need this one. And at the very least, we try to trend for 1 business day in terms of a response when submitting your application to either have it submitted or to have a response from our lawyer on the application. Our support team is a great resource for you. New technology can be hard, change is difficult to implement new tech, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you as agents to have access to our team for support, but also for your students so that you don't have to shoulder the burden of supporting them for every question as you get more comfortable with the platform. Our support team responds within 8 hours within Monday to Friday and within 24 hours outside of that, and we often resolve those tickets in that time frame as well. We also have a chat bot where the student can access 24 hours a day that was built only on BorderPass information. So if students have really quick questions about using the site, about understanding an application, what the processing time, anything like that, they have access to our chat bot, but they can also request that a human reach out to them from our support team. On average, we're noticing that from the sign up or start of submission, meaning you've got all your documents, you've created your account on BorderPass and you're ready to upload them, takes about a week or so to get all those documents, upload everything, go through the questionnaire, complete the statement of purpose, and submit to our lawyers for review. And we're hoping that as you get more comfortable, that timeline goes down as you send more and more applicants to BorderPass through your agent portal. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into our product demo here. So the purpose of the demo today is to show you how to sign up, where the benefit is for you, and how to use it in tandem with your student, and how to get support if you have any questions. So to sign up, you'll visit this link, partners.borderpass.ai, and you'll click sign up, and you'll be asked to input your email address, your password, your phone number, a referral code from another partner if they referred you, and you can click Get Started to create your account. You'll be immediately redirected to your profile page. So here, we ask you for a quick upload of any government issued ID. This can be a driver's license, a national ID, passport if you have one, anything that can be uploaded. And the reason we ask for this is we want to make sure that you don't create multiple accounts and get stuck. This is to make sure that you are tied to your specific account and you have access to BorderPass from there after uploading your ID. Once you do that, you can fill out the information, your name, your email, the title of your role, and your phone number, which we already collected at sign up. And the most important part here is your company information. When you're inviting students to use BorderPass, you'll receive an email stating this information here. So you want to make sure your company name is clear, because if, for example, if Mo signed up and Mo signed up as Mo's #1 agent, I would know where this invite is coming from Mo's #1 agent in this company name here. We want to make sure the students don't get confused and make it as easy as possible for them and you to use it. So make sure that information is updated. You can also update the schools that you're associated with. So if you're associated with McGill University or Concordia, you can add as many schools that you're associated with so that you can track and you can see that within our system, and we can assist with reporting on that for you as well. Once you've done that, you'll be redirected to adding clients or your students to manage within BorderPass. And there's a couple of different options here. In most cases, you'll be inviting a student that does not have a BorderPass account with us. So you'll put in their email and their passport number. You can add multiple students at a time, and you can also upload a CSV if you have one. And once you hit continue, this is what you'll see. You'll see the action here. The student will be asked to create a BorderPass account, and you'll see that the email that they've signed up with as well. Once you email the students for verification, you'll be able to track them in your external invites. The students that you're seeing here are students that have not signed up with BorderPass yet. So you've invited them, you can see the date that you invited them and the email address you sent the invite to. You want to make sure that there are no students in this queue, because this means that they haven't opened your email and they haven't signed up for BorderPass through your invite. There will be some cases where you're inviting students that already have a BorderPass account. I saw that in the chat. I believe it was Laura was talking about a student that was attending Ontario Tech University, who was one of our partners, and they were already in BorderPass. You can still manage their account for them. So you would put in their email address, you put in their passport number, and you'll see a green check mark here. And you'll see the action is that not for the student to create their account, but to upload their passport. So if they haven't uploaded their passport yet, they'll be reminded. That's in one of the very first stages for a student. But depending on where the student is in their journey with BorderPass, the prompts will appear here. Once you've invited them, this is where you'll spend the most of your time within BorderPass. So you'll be able to search any student specifically by their name or ID or email, filter by the visa type they have, the school they're at, or the application status is that it's in with us and with the IRCC. And you'll see here that the list of students will go on as you invite them, and you can manage them all. You'll see as I hover over some students, I can click into them, but some of them I can't. And the reason I can't is because they're an invite pending. This means that the student was invited to BorderPass, they created their account, but they haven't given you as a partner, as an agent, access to manage their account. It's very important that we get them to give you access, otherwise you can't manage them directly in your portal. For students that have already accepted your invite, we can see, I'll click into here. This is what it looks like for you. You can see the student's name, the email, their passport number, their student number, the DLI they're attending, and the status they're at. Your goal as an agent, as a partner for this student, is to make sure that all of these documents flip from required to completed. And the way that you can do that, there's two ways. You can either upload the document yourself. So if they have a tuition bank receipt, a bank statement, you can upload it themselves on behalf of the student. Or if you want the student to work in BorderPass and you want to guide them through it as well, you can request specific documents for them. They'll receive a specific email stating, hey, this is the agent, we want you to upload this specific document. And as you upload documents, this required red button will turn to green, and it'll look something like this. completed once you uploaded it. Once the document's uploaded, you can always view it or download it. You can upload additional documents, and you can also delete it and re-upload documents. So you have full control from the back end of what's uploaded for the student's account. That being said, many of you working with students know that they have a lot of questions or concerns about using technology. So we made it very easy for you to be able to go in and see exactly what the student is seeing. So if you click Impersonate, you'll load in, and this is the student view. This is exactly what they see. Whatever applications they're working on is listed here. We list some important dates relative to whether their LOA states their start date, their graduation date, their passport expiry date. We try to make it a one-stop shop for knowing everything immigration. So you'll probably be working within their specific application. And this is what the student view looks like. You'll see there's a few stages on the right-hand side. So they'll be asked to go through a pre-assessment. They'll be asked to make that payment that Max talked about a little bit earlier, the fees relative to their application. And you can see that they'll go through another assessment, upload all of their documents, and they can also draft their statement of purpose within BorderPass, which I'll go through in a second. In this preliminary document stage, you can see that they need to upload any passport stamps, their ID, a digital photo as well, a letter of acceptance that they've received from the university, transcripts, their visa or permits from the past if they have any family issued documents, as well as their proof of finances. This is where you'll likely spend the most amount of time as an agent for a student, because this is the part that a lot of students or agents miss, or we would get a lot of refusal reasons relative to it. So this is what our finance section looks like. You'll see on the left, based on the LOA and the tuition amount that's uploaded, we add that versus the updated living expenses relative to where the student's applying to, as well as travel applicants and if they have any spouse or children. And we produce this number, the total required funds. This is the total amount of funds required for the student to show that they have enough funds to cover their journey during their immigration stay in Canada. However, there's a ton of different documents that the students can upload. These are all recommended. We don't force you to upload specific documents, but bank statements, tuition payment receipts, scholarships, these are common documents that we see. This finance meter shows the gap of where you need to get to make sure you're meeting the requirement. It'll start at $0, and as you upload documents like your tuition payment receipt, like your bank statements, this meter will continue to rise, and it'll turn green once you meet this minimum requirement. I do not expect all of your students to have $1.42 million of available funds for their stay in Canada, but as you increase and add documents, this meter will continue to rise, hopefully to meet that minimum threshold here. You'll see that there's a ton of different ways that they can meet that minimum requirement. Most commonly is bank statements. If they click on bank statements, you can see that there's a requirement list here on the left. This makes sure the student knows what we're looking for when they upload it. So upload 6 months of statements, combine them all into one account file, make sure they're recent, make sure they're in the correct languages, as well as the information. Once they upload that, that information is parsed out, and the financial amount is converted and it's added to that meter. But in many cases, you can actually add documents for financial supporters. We don't expect a lot of our students to have financial information enough for them, and they need a financial supporter like a parent or an aunt, uncle, friend. And so you can actually add that directly here and select the relationship. And once you do that, you'll be able to input this information. We'll need their ID, their financial supporter letter, what type of finances they're supporting them with, their proof of income, and their proof of relationship to the individual. So in essence, the students, we break it out for them. Any document they try to upload, they can see the information here. And we make it easy for them to go through and upload all of these documents. And we explain what they are and see sample documents as well in case they get confused. You as the agent have full visibility into what they're uploading, when they're uploading it, either here in the impersonating side or directly in your account. And like I said, your goal is to get them to complete these stage by stage. So as they complete a document section, they get a check mark and they move throughout. And the last stage when after finish uploading their documents is their statement of purpose. As you know, this letter is very, very important for students to explain why they're coming to Canada, what they hope to accomplish, and the RCC takes it very seriously. And so we've made it very easy for students to actually go through and generate that within the platform. So if we look at this student here, we look in their account, you as the agent can see their stage. And again, whatever stage they're in will also be in their dashboard here. You can see that they've completed all of the required steps, and now they just need to review their statement of purpose. So when they're building it, we ask them questions step by step by step, relating to each specific question, and they go in and they answer those sections. We then give them an opportunity, once that statement of purpose is generated, to review it. And so they can again review it section by section, and they can make certain corrections to it. Like if they want to say, I want to become a CEO and an entrepreneur, it'll relate directly to their related section that they're talking about, and they can submit the changes, and they can continue to go through and approve each section that they've generated an answer for. So we've thought of everything relative to their application process. We give them an assessment to see what types of forms they need to see and whether they're eligible for a study permit. We make it easy for them to upload specific financial documents. We make it easy for them to download those specific Canada forms and upload them and sign them within the application. And we make it very easy for them to craft their statement of purpose as well. Once they do that and they submit that, they can submit it to lawyer review. And from there, we also wait for the decision. We also provide instructions to the student on what to do for arrival, how to complete when they're coming to arrival, what to bring. We give them a package of their documents to show. And after arrival, how to upload their study permit, and also have access to different applications relative to working in Canada, relative to staying in Canada with express entry, and things of that nature. And the last thing I'll show you actually in the student account, like I said, we want to make it easy for your students to have access to our support team. So the students have access to our chatbot here, and they can put in different pieces of questions or information that they have. But if they ever want to speak to our support team, they can simply put, I want to speak to a support team member, and they'll be able to get in contact with our support team from there. But for you, I hope by now seeing the platform, you can understand that this will give you full visibility into the application process for your students. They'll have full visibility into the process, so not just sending documents and hoping they get an update. And it gives you an opportunity to also have a Canadian immigration lawyer review and submit to the IRCC on your behalf. And in the case of refusal, you have access to discounted judicial reviews that can also be filed through the platform here. So that concludes the end of our presentation here and the demonstration that we have. I can see we've been asking and answering questions in the chat, but I did want to give an opportunity to for anyone to come off mute and ask questions if they have it.
For sure.
Thank you so much. Just very quick. If you can, guys, maybe I know you have a lot of questions in the chat. Maybe Max or someone, they can go through this question and the answer, and they have like everyone they know answer because they don't have the time to read. And also the question for you, Eli, if the student they decide if I'm the student, I can use the portal or I need to go through the agent?
Great question. So a student can still sign up on their own, Mohammed, but we made it easy. The agent can invite them if they want. And even if the student already has an account, the agent can still manage their application. So a student can sign up on their own, but they can also be invited by the agent as well.
It's really important for the agent to invite the student, though, at some point before the applicant pays, because from the access that the agent or that the applicant is granting to the agent, or I guess I could frame it as from the agent inviting the applicant, that's what's going to provide this promotional discounted fee.
That's my question exactly, because I'm not talking for the BD. That is PAR, as you know. We talk on this mass with we have other PAR business with Gas or Trebas is direct team. The direct team is without the agent. Okay, they can't have like this promotion, if I understand.
Correct.
If the student use directly the portal, they are not using this promotion, what you share in the beginning, guys, if I understand.
Correct. So to get
the
discount, they need to be invited by the agent.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's why we have only the agent here. It's not the direct team. The direct team, they put him aside. Everyone, they ask me, can you attend? I say, no. It's only for the bidding. And maybe Max or someone, if you go through the question, because it's very interesting question, one by one, very quick. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I see there's one question as well from Jamel. I see your hand up there. I'll get to that in just 1 second. I was just going to add as well, again, just to make it clear, for the purpose of today's demonstration with respect to GUS as a whole, the fees that we outlined is what will be available to you. However, for BorderPass partners, so schools that we're already working with, the fees are waived. So the students are only paying identical to what they'd pay if they filed on their own. And that is obviously the goal of what we're trying to do. But we wanted to offer just a promotion as we kick things off and continue in our discussions so that agents have as much support as necessary, especially right now during some of these more challenging times. There's been a few questions in the chat. Maybe I'll focus on the more applicable or important ones. So financial documentation, there's been a lot of questions about this in the chat. BorderPass fully supports financial supporter documents. So if you indicate when you're uploading a document that the document owner is your mother or your father or your sibling or a third party, that will then unlock the ability to answer some questions and upload additional documentation about the applicant's financial supporter. It's really important to make sure that they're also abiding by uploading documents in the format that IRCC is looking for. 6 months bank statements, employment letters, pay stubs, whatever it may be. As well, often what is really recommended is a financial support letter, and that's something that BorderPass can actually help generate for your applicant as well. Notarized documents are very strongly recommended as well for specific relationships. There was a question about third-party supporters, so I'll touch on this in two ways. If you have like a family friend or your employer that's sponsoring you for the purpose of your studies, really important to get all the details, a letter outlining why they are supporting you. That's really important because the government may scrutinize the proof of the relationship and not actually believe that the funds are available to the applicant. If you're talking about a family member providing these funds, that's a very strong family tie versus an employer or a friend. There needs to be a clear proof of why this individual is sponsoring them. So that could include, maybe the applicant at one point gave this individual a loan to support them during a time that they needed it. And now this individual is going to sponsor this applicant during their studies, right? It's important to be detailed because in the event of refusal, this is where we can incorporate these details in our legal arguments for the appeal process. Education loans, good source of financing. I do have to say, from the data that we have seen, just speaking candidly, although education loans are great to show that the applicant will have money contributing for the purpose of their tuition, oftentimes applicants still aren't able to show enough funds for the living expenses. So you need to make sure that when you're working with a loan provider, you have an understanding of if the amount that's being loaned will cover both tuition and living expenses or just tuition. And there is some scrutiny being faced with education loans. So again, they're a great source for those who need it, but just make sure to provide as much detail as possible, including how the applicant will pay back the loan. Maybe I'll pause here, get to the hand up question we have if you want to unmute yourself, Jamel. Jamel, I know you. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Sorry. A quick question, please. To enroll and work with BorderPass, is it conditional that the application for the students is with one of your partners? If it's with a university not listed, it's okay?
Yes, exactly. So through the agent portal that Eli just showed, it doesn't matter where you're sending a student. If it's a partner student, the fees are waived. If it's not, for the time being, there will be a promotional price in place. So for example, if they're going to Trebas or if they're going to another GUS institution, the discounted fees will be in place. But it doesn't matter where the applicant wants to go. BorderPass is available to all agents and all applicants across any institution in Canada.
Thank you, Max.
No problem. So I spoke about the education loan stuff. That can be uploaded in the proof of finances that Eli showed. There'll be a section for education loan, as you would have seen. You can just upload the documents and provide as much detail as possible. There's a really good question here about how many can access the portal from an agency. One thing I would say on this is it's probably important that if you have many agents a part of your agency that manage their own student journeys, they should each create their own account. That way they can easily track the users in their dashboard. If you just have one, if you run your agency alone, obviously you'll only need one account and you can follow all the applicants. If you're a larger agency or you have multiple people, sometimes it's just easier to manage your own portfolio, let's call it, of applicants rather than having to kind of dig through a lengthy list if everyone on your team was using the same account. I see Eli also put the agent support email. So if you have questions when you're signing up, if you run into challenges, if you have questions because maybe your case is a little bit complicated, maybe the applicant's been refused twice to Canada, these are the things that we are here to help you with. There's not a lot of good resources to get answers to these questions in this, market, unfortunately. Essentially, through BorderPass, you're getting free access at your fingertips to running ideas, cases, questions by a licensed Canadian immigration lawyer. I believe that sort of covers the bulk of the questions that were in the chat. I know we only have about 9 minutes left, so if anyone wants to add more or unmute themselves, feel free. The other thing I'll mention is I saw a question about like lengthy financial documents. Again, when documents are uploaded on BorderPass, we actually work with the applicant to compress their files because this isn't a BorderPass issue. IRCC has a file requirement constraint where your financial documents need to be within a certain size. So BorderPass helps compress those files. In the event that, there was someone that wrote that there's 200 pages of bank statements. Again, feel free to reach out to our support team and they can help provide the best guidance of how to upload the documents or support you as needed. Don't worry about the partner referral code. You'll be able to just create your account as your agent and sign up to start adding your applicants.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. I open just very quick. If guys, you have a question in French, I can't translate it. I know everyone they understand, but s'il y a des questions en français, je pourrais les traduire. Je ne sais pas s'il y a des personnes qui they want to have question in French. I'm open. We give, guys, we are in Quebec. That is very important too. I offer this. It's politically side, guys. It's very important experience. If not, I'm not compliant.
Mr. Mohamed, I
Yes.
think if you did an overview real quick about the BorderPass in French, something like 2 minutes overview,
Yeah.
what it is for, what can we do? So I think that will help a lot.
OK, perfect. OK, I will do it very quick. OK.
Yep.
BorderPass, ils sont là pour nous supporter. Ils sont là pour supporter Trebas et d'autres brands. On n'a pas de contrat avec eux encore, mais on travaille, guys, pour avoir un contrat avec eux dans le futur. On voulait faire ce webinaire particulièrement avant, et j'en ai parlé avec Max, pour pouvoir aider les agents actuels en attendant d'avoir un contrat et que ça se soit gratuit pour tous les étudiants et les agents qui vont utiliser BorderPass. Pour le moment, il y a un prix préférentiel qui est utilisé, qui est de $175, plus les frais d'application du permis, plus le biométrique. Et cette partie-là va être permise jusqu'à ce que le contrat soit signé. Ce qui implique, c'est que tout simplement, si vous avez un étudiant, vous allez créer avec tout le processus qui est expliqué. Il est Max, à travers le portail, créer le nom d'étudiant, le transférer, vous avez le dossier, ils vont s'occuper de tout le processus. Ce que vous avez à payer, en réalité, de plus que vous payez actuellement, parce que les 250 du permis d'études plus le biométrique, il faut le payer, ça c'est au gouvernement, c'est seulement $175 et eux, ils vont s'occuper de traiter le dossier, de valider le dossier, de revoir les questions financières et d'avoir une discussion avec vous. Donc ça, c'est la partie qui va vous permettre tout simplement d'utiliser ce qu'on appelle les demandes à Immigration Canada à travers notre partenaire qui est BorderPass, qui est l'équipe BorderPass. Donc ça c'est en gros. En attendant, probablement dans les prochaines semaines ou mois, je vais vous tenir au courant et on va parler un peu lorsqu'on signe un contrat avec BorderPass, à ce moment les choses sont transparentes. Mais au moins maintenant vous avez l'option parce que je sais que beaucoup de nos agents, ils ont de la difficulté, surtout ceux qui sont en Afrique, la difficulté de validation. Et je pense, Ili nous a montré le graphique des approvals pour les différents pays en Afrique et c'est important d'avoir ce support-là. Donc, c'est un peu le gros que je voulais expliquer. And by the way, guys, I did exactly what you said, like Eli and Max. You are here to support, and that is temporarily until we sign the agreement, maybe next few weeks or month. And also, you are here to support the partner and the student, how we can submit. And also, we see the difference with Eli, like present and the graphic. When they're using by BorderPass, the application or the conversion is small higher too. If we submit it directly by the agent, that's I think if you have like only 5% more, it's very, very interesting.
For sure.
I think
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much, Joel. Okay, merci. Okay, I
Thank
think
you.
I have another question. No, I think so. No.
Yeah, no, I just answered a few more in the chat that were
Perfect.
just some
Okay.
repeated questions. But yeah, ultimately, we look forward to supporting you. We encourage all of you to sign up. We're working with hundreds of agents all over the world, supporting all of our academic partners. And again, if you take one thing away, just remember, we are here to help you have more success in your business. Your commission is for you. We do not touch your commission. We do not recruit students. We want to work together to help you operate your business more efficiently. This will give you the ability to focus on recruiting students while leaving the immigration to Canadian lawyers who are experts and can, support you along the way.
Okay, I think that is good. I will just added one thing here, but you are here, but I'm okay. I shared with the team. It's very important. It's Trebas. I give one promotion now on the side. Okay, I'm talking for my partner. If we pay this $175 to BorderPass and your student to be approved to come to Trebas, I will refund this $175, guys. Let's say I give it this promotion for all my partner registered for Trebas. If you have any student submit the application through BorderPass and you receive the approval of the visa, just give me the reference for that and I support you guys. I refund for you. If the student pay it, I will decrease the tuition. If you pay it, guys, the agents, we need just the proof. I will refund you this $175 until we have everything is free. I think you are happy, guys. I give this promotion for my partner, and I think that's to push a lot, guys. BorderPass to have to use this portal, and we are here to support. Okay, that's it's my decision, and that's guys. It's free when you use this portal, and you have the approval for your students. I think we have everything. Thank you so much, guys. What I need, maybe just the presentation. I will send the email at the end with the recording plus the presentation. And you guys, you have all the information, how we connect with the BorderPass. If you have any question, feel free to contact me. And also, maybe in the futures, we can create another session if needed to give you more support, guys. We are here to support exactly what you say, Max and the team. We are here to support you guys. The commission is paid by us, by Trebas and GAS, but what I need from you only to bring the student to Trebas. That's what I need for now. Thank you so much. We appreciate and thank you guys for your presentation, Eli and Max and the team. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.